Yo, what's up everyone? Bren here, and I'm gonna be making some more videos. So basically I'm playing Dota again, and I'm going to be doing this series where I take this low rated account all the way up to Divine 5. The account was Crusader 5 around 1900 MMR at first, and right now it's at Archon 1, just from playing a few games. And for these first few videos guys, I'm just going to be doing post-game commentaries, and once I feel a bit more comfortable mechanically, and strategically, I'll be doing live recordings again. It's honestly always difficult commentating while playing, but it's especially difficult when you're just getting back into it because you have a lot more active thinking to do. Things that would normally be automated, such as buying items or farming correctly, just aren't as automatic. So, for this first video, I'll be playing PL in the safe lane, and I'll just be commentating. And while this is, quote, smurfing, I'm not practiced, so I do make a lot of mistakes, which I'll be pointing out as best as I can. Also, I made a Discord server, so if you want to interact with me directly, as well as others in the community, then go ahead and join it. The link will be in the description and in the comment section. Also, I have my fan on, and if it's really loud and annoying, just let me know. And the first mistake, arguable mistake that I made this game is not contesting the enemy rune, because Bloodseeker was the only one we saw there. We had the ward on the high ground. Bloodseeker's level 1 is atrocious. We knew that enemies were bot. The biggest threat was Tusk, and we saw him bot. And add to the fact that Bloodseeker is probably a South American player, just because of the way matchmaking is set up now. Meaning I just have significantly better ping, which is honestly the biggest determining factor as to whether or not you get the rune, if you're both just spam clicking. Means I probably should have contested it, but no, it's not a big deal. Now, one thing you want to do whenever you're playing as a safe laner, in a dual lane versus a single offlane hero, whenever they come up for creeps, guys, you just want to auto attack them. Just use your abilities, harass them down in the early levels. Don't let them get anything. And it's especially important against a Bloodseeker who has a lot of sustain if he's able to get last hits in. And this guy is making the mistake of using his Q ability way too early. For example, like this. What you want to be doing, guys, as a Bloodseeker, you want to use your Q ability right before you go for a last hit. Because if you use it too soon and you have to walk like 2 seconds to the creep, you're going to be taking a lot more unnecessary damage. So use your Q ability on yourself right before you go for the last hit. And right here we have a lot of creeps. We have 3 archers, 2 melee still alive, and this guy, once again, he does the same mistake. And when your opponents are making mistakes like this, you just have to punish them. I saw, okay, he has Q, he put his Q on himself, so he's taking a bunch of amp damage. I have a lot of creeps under the tower, so I have a lot of things to de-aggro the tower to if it switches to me. So I'm not worried about taking too much damage. I also had a salve which I used. So just auto attack him. Just see the flaw in his play. And right here, I'm going for tower damage instead of attacking the creeps. Some players will auto attack the creeps when they're under the tower like that, the enemy creeps that is. But killing the creeps faster doesn't really do that much. Because the creeps are going to die anyways, so the more important thing to do when you're in that type of situation where you have some creeps alive under the tower, just go for some tower damage. There's really no reason not to. We were able to chunk it. Like probably more than 15% of its HP is gone. And once again, this guy just puts his Q on himself. He came back to lane with like max HP, used his Q on himself before he goes for last hit. And you could argue he wants to just put Q on himself just so he has more damage, so he's more likely to get the last hit, but I don't know, that's still not something you should do, honestly, especially as an offlaner, where your main goal is just to get EXP and get whatever last hits you can under the tower. It would be different if he's like playing like a hero like LC or a hero like Darkseer, who can actually man up against 2 heroes and put in a lot of work, but he's playing a pretty unconventional hero, which pretty much always happens at this rating. You see a lot of agility carries playing solo in the offlane. Like You know, I've even played against like AM solo offlane recently. You know, PA, PL even. You know, it's very common at this rating, and it's also common to run like a 2-1-2 setup. So you're almost always going to have a support regardless, even if your support is unconventional. And so you can usually take advantage of your opponent's guys if you're at this rating. Just auto attack them when they come for creeps. It's a very common thing that I'm seeing. And now Tusk is here. Just gonna try and balance the wave back. He's snowballing. I'm not really sure why. I can just disjoint it anyways. Before it hits me, just use my W ability. He's taking a lot of damage. I should have went for him. Shit. It's not a big deal. I had a mango that I could have popped. So that was definitely a mistake. That Tusk should have died 100%. There's no reason for him to live there, other than me just messing up. But it's not too big of a deal. And this guy has his buff on himself. Gonna get in range. I don't Q right away because the root's already in place. But once again there, I should have queued a little bit earlier, so just another mistake. You want to start casting your Q before the other disables end, just so you can maximize the damage that you get off on opponents. So a little bit rusty in that regards. And I see that the enemy has pretty much 2 waves here, so I'm just kind of balancing it out, just auto attacking. Just want to maintain equilibrium in this area, so. Looking at the minimap, there still is a Tusk around, but they, at this point, their window of opportunity in terms of like shutting me down and really messing up my game is kind of over. I dodged it there. I dodged his silence ability, but even that, in my opinion, is a mistake. Because that's just time that I wasn't auto-attacking Tusk. But it works out anyways. And my Q ability was down as well, so there really was no reason to just dodge it there. Kind of just a habitual thing. But yeah, I should have just tanked it. It would have been better. So I do have Aquila now, and we're just going to be going for treads. You know, you can go for Boots of Travel if you really want to, but I think treads are way too good at just boosting your farm incredibly fast, as well as your damage. Helps you take down towers. You know, if you get the early treads in with the Aquila, your ability to take down the tier 1 towers really high. It's really strong. And you know, this guy is he's putting it down himself preemptively again. And so what do we do, guys? We just auto attack him. When he comes up for the creeps, we auto attack him. I A-clicked on my illusion to de-aggro the tower, and you know, we should be fine. We're fine. Just A-clicking on the creeps, de-aggroing the tower. Taking a little bit too much damage. I thought about going on him, but yeah, it's a little bit too risky. And Bloodseeker he already respawned, and so he's gonna be pretty fast. And I just popped a shrine. I checked CM's HP and mana before popping it, just in case she also needed it, but she is pretty healthy, so I just used it. And now we're level 6. Okay, so we ended up killing him there, but even there, guys, I made a mistake. What I should have done is let him get closer to the ledge before auto-attacking him. Ideally, what you want is he goes up the ledge, you auto-attack him, and then you cast your lance to maximize the amount of damage you can get on him, as well as make it a lot more difficult for him to react. Instead of going down the ledge, you know, he sees me and I lance. You know, it wasn't the most efficient play. Even though we get the kill, you have to be looking out for these type of things. Just ways you can improve. I mean, I see he just uses his Q on himself. Why not just lance him? He's going to take a lot of damage. Right there, I dodged his silence because my lance was coming up. No reason to tank it. Morphling is here. We have a lot of illusion, so they're tanking the tower for us. And it's not a big deal, so we just auto attack him down. And We have a Morphling. He's morphed into agility a little bit, which is the correct play. Get the tower down faster. Let's see if I can... Don't get the last hit on the tower, but it's not a big deal. And at this point, so when you get the tower down early like this, and you've had a good laning stage, as I've kind of said in my older videos, you just want to keep pressuring the enemy. Instead of farming your jungle, what you want to do is farm the enemy jungle whenever possible, because you're taking farm away, you're maintaining an aggressive posture on the map, and you're just kind of being constricting in a way. Because ideally, Bloodseeker would probably want to be the one farming some of these creeps. As you can see, he's coming over here. I'm not actually I'm not actually sure what he's doing, but want to dodge this. Kind of blocked myself. I mean, I have Treads, I have an Aquila, I have my ulti. He's only level 5, so it was an easy man up. He just miscalculated the amount of damage he's going to take, as well as how much damage that he was able to do to me. But we get the kill, and no reason to go back yet. Just get the next wave. We can take the bounty runes. Oh, that's a dazzle with a DD. That is kind of worrisome. He's coming for this one too, but we should be able to get it. W his auto attack, and we should be fine. We're completely fine. He does have vision of us, but we have a salve, so it's not a big deal. And then he dies. So we got the regen, kind of baited him in. It wasn't an intentional bait. It just happened to turn out like that. And yeah. Right here, I am a little bit worried, because he does have his ulti. I am at half HP. But honestly, there's no reason for me to be playing like this. As you saw, like the 1v1 earlier, like I completely dominated him pretty much. So there's no reason for me to be scared. So kind of just like sitting back and playing defensively is a mistake. Could be pushing my advantage much more. Even right here, guys, honestly, there was a chance that I could have manned up on him. There was a chance. But I do play it ultra safe there, honestly. But one thing I will say is I don't know how much HP my teammates have. If they're all really low, then I probably do lose that 1v1. But just playing it safe. And then we're walking back to lane. And the other lanes are just doing alright. Actually, they're doing pretty poor, to be honest. But we're doing good enough that doesn't really matter. In this game, I think I last picked. I either second phased or third or last picked it. I would say that right now in Dota, that like picking is probably, it's at least half the game, honestly, because of the way the gold and EXP system works. A lot of the games are just really close on EXP and gold. And so what does that mean? It means the team with the better, or the team with the relatively better team comp is going to win. So you want to have draft advantage. You want to have you want to have the counters to the enemy's heroes. So I saw that they really have no AoE. PL pretty much hard counter sniper. It's really good against Dazzle. It's pretty good against Bloodseeker. Bloodseeker, I would say, has a small advantage in the matchup if you can get like a really fast Radiance and have a really good game, because Radiance kind of shits on PL incredibly hard, and PL counters Viper extremely hard, as well as Tusk. So it was just a very, very good pick overall, which is something that I'm trying to do. I don't think there's any reason to intentionally, like first pick a carry or whatever. You can get fucked over way too easily in the current version of Dota. If you try and first pick an AM and the team has like the enemy team has like 5 hard counters, it's really hard to play against that right now, because of the reason I mentioned. The games are just so tight in Golden EXP that it's harder to make like outplays and get a huge advantage, like it was before. So you want to make sure you have good picks, guys, especially if you're playing as the mid or the safe lane carry. And I'm just going from behind, dodging his silence, Bloodseeker silence. Pretty aggressive move, but it works out. Had to tank a little bit of tower damage, but it's not a big deal. And we're able to just push. See, we're not playing... The biggest mistake I see at this rating is when people have an advantage as pretty much any role, but especially as a safe laner, is they'll get the advantage, and what do? They just continue to farm like their own jungle. They don't push the lanes out. They don't put pressure on the enemies, on like the enemy mid lane like I just did. Like, you can rotate as a safe lane carry. It's not a big deal. You don't have to play like this static farming game where you're just turtling in your own jungle. All you're doing when you do that is you're letting the enemy team come back. You're allowing the enemy team to capitalize on more mistakes of your enemy, or capitalize on the mistakes of your teammates more, because there's just less presence overall. There's less pressure from yourself. So I knew that the wave was coming just by looking at the clock. Something that's also very important. You should memorize, or try to memorize as best as you can, the creep positioning based on like the timings, the time in the game. Just farming. There's no wave, so what do? You know, there's no wave from our own team. Dazzle's just... Oof. That is an unfortunate TP. Viper's here. I can't contest him. Just gonna run. See, Viper has nothing on us. Yeah. So, if Bloodseeker wasn't there to get vision, I might have went in and just queued him and then backed off. But because he had vision of me, because of thirst, just ran. No reason to stick around. And in terms of item build, guys, I really like going for Yasha on PL before going for a Diffusal, because it just gives you that movement speed. It gives you that boost of agility to just help your farming out. Helps you push out lanes really fast. Diffusal is like 1,000 more gold, and it's not nearly as effective until it's fully complete. And even then, Yasha's a better item for pressuring the map than Diffusal is, in terms of like killing creeps, pushing waves out, as well as farming the enemy jungle. And even in fights, the movement speed is really a big deal. So I personally go for the Yasha before the Diffusal, but you can do whatever you want. Yeah, both are viable in my opinion. I hate these ancients, to be honest. They're so annoying. But thankfully we are PL. Oh, I actually go for the full Manta this game. Okay. Oh, Manta's honestly probably my favorite item in the game, just because the active gives you so much lane pressure. This guy just keeps doing the same thing. There's no reason for him to Q. He's not auto attacking anyone. All he's doing is running. No reason to be using it like that all the time. Dazzle has Grave on himself, so I'm choosing Viper as my target. Getting kind of low. Wasn't even microing my hero there. Kind of just auto attacking. Not really too worried at this point about dying. Shit. Destroying him. And we get so it's kind of RNG right there. You know, he has to pick the right one. And unfortunately, the RNG of the world was not on his side. And we live. So we got the blade. But yeah, I really like Manta as an item. I always have. It's just incredibly good just for survival. Gives you that lane pressure, helps you farm more. In fights you're able to disjoint abilities. And yeah. But usually I do go Yasha into Diffusal. But you know, it's up to you guys what you want to build on PL. It's pretty versatile. Then what are we doing? So we got out, we killed Tusk, we had that team fight. What do we do now, guys? We don't go farm our jungle and play super passive. In the current version of Dota, you need to be kind of playing with your team, because if they die, they're going to be giving up a lot of gold. The advantage that you've gained can be wiped out incredibly fast, which is annoying. I really don't like that. So you want to be playing aggressive. You pretty much always want to be on the aggressive when you're in the lead. There are certain cases where it's not true, but in general it is true. just fighting. We have the illusions. They have no AoE. They can't clear them efficiently. There's a lot of confusion in team fights. And you know, we're just continuing to pressure. We're not farming our jungle. None of that shit. Just playing with our team a little bit when we can. And trying to push our lead. Getting the towers. More towers means less vision for the enemy. Less places for them to be able to, less places for them to TP to. Ooh, this is unfortunate. I don't have my W up. I de-aggroed though. And we finished the tower. There's no threat really. They have vision in the base. That's why we picked up the rest of that creep wave. If we didn't have vision in their base, we would have backed off. And you know, there's thirst on me, but I'm not really too worried. Runes are spawning soon. See, like, look at that. Dazzle kills Ricky. 562 gold. You know, 3 years ago, or maybe more than 3 years ago at this point, you know, Ricky dies there and gives up like fucking 280 gold. He doesn't have a streak. But because our team is ahead, he gives up a lot. That's why you want to be playing aggressive. Because when you're playing aggressive, it's, I would argue, and I really do believe this is true, that if you play aggressive, your team is just going to be making less mistakes because you're going to be putting more pressure on the enemy team, especially if you feel confident in your play. Got some circling on the map. Not really sure what that is indicating. For the most part, I just play these games with everyone muted, or with mute all chat on, because pretty much all the advice and things that they say isn't really too useful. I'm someone that checks the minimap pretty often anyways, so yeah. Just gonna chase him down. We have all of our illusions. Poor Dazzle. There's nothing he can do here, other than like TP out. Snowball coming. PL counters Tusk, as I said, just completely dominates him. Their team really can't do anything to me. He starts his ult animation, but I Manta gives me a little bit more distance on him, and you know, that extra distance is maybe the thing that just saved us. Actually, I would argue that it probably is 100% the thing that saved us, because Sniper would have been in range to kill us. We do have the defusal. TP back. And instead of just waiting in the base, I buy the salve to heal a little bit faster. I don't leave base as soon as I could have, just because I wasn't fast on buying my items. But yeah, we just buy a salve there, and then we leave the base. It's gonna head top. Creeps are pushing in. It's a lot of farm. And right now, our goal in the game is pretty much the same thing that I've been saying. Like, we just want to keep playing aggressively. We want to keep all the lanes pushed as much as possible. We want to be taking smart fights. Fights that we know that we're likely to win. You know, that we have a high probability of winning. Because we don't want to be taking any like 70%, you know, like bullshit fights. Because if we lose a fight, they're pretty much just back into the game. The nice thing though is, as I mentioned, I kind of hard counter every single hero on their team. So even if we do mess up, we're still going to be good. You know, we have a lot of room for error because of our pick. Now, this is actually like the first time I'm actually using my Manta to lane pressure, I think. Just microing them. You don't want to let your Manta illusions just die for nothing. You want to at least get some tower damage in. Microed it back there. It dies anyways. And yeah. But as you can see, we pushed in with the Manta. It means that they have to stick around a little bit longer. It means that they're going to be, to this fight, a little bit slower. So that's actually a really good zoning CM ult. I didn't notice that. Yep, like I said, Viper can't do anything. None of the heroes can do anything to our pick. And from this point onwards, it's just kind of a war of attrition. We're just getting further and further ahead. We don't want to give up any unnecessary deaths, obviously. You know, if I was to die to anyone on their team, I'd probably give up at least 1,000 gold. If there's like 5 heroes in the area, there's a chance I give up like 2,000 gold, guys. Seriously. So we don't want to be making any mistakes. We don't want to have any deaths. And we just want to keep furthering our lead. That's why like having these type of carries, you know, like a PL, someone with a getaway, is really important in my opinion right now. Because you know you're really hard to kill if you're just playing patiently, if you're playing intelligently. So when you have that lead built, you can just keep accruing a larger lead compared to a hero like Lifestealer, someone that has to man up a lot. You know, even though he has rage, there's a lot of things that pierce BKB. He's a hero that's generally going to be dying, even if you're playing like a really good game. He's a hero that you're probably going to be dying on a lot, or a lot more than other heroes, just because of the way he functions. Okay, and we're just pushing. We're at like 60% HP. Oh god, those nukes are hurting. We just Manta. We use our Manta to go on enemies. We're just sticking back, using our spells. We're kind of low, so like, in terms of sending our actual hero in, we want to go in when it's actually like a good time. Dazzle and Viper were dead. There's no real threat, so we can just walk in. We're just pushing. And at this point, the game is pretty much over. The only way that they really win is if they probably team wipe us at least once, with me dying, of course, as well as me like respawning and dying again, and Bloodseeker getting a Radiance and BKB. Like that's honestly the only way they win, is a Radiance and a BKB and Bloodseeker. And even then, it's going to be really tough because we're far enough ahead. I'm personally far enough ahead that even if we were to start losing some fights and they get a lead, a small lead, I can just split push on the map and pressure the lanes out. And then, you know, when you're pushing the lanes out, you're just giving yourself a lot of opportunities, a lot of time to let your opponents mess up. We have a lot of gold. We're low on HP, so we're just back here. I'm really slow at buying items right now. Incredibly slow. That's probably the thing that has like deteriorated almost the most for me. Yeah, just gonna go for Scotty. I like the agility it gives. Heart is definitely an option here too. I think I might switch to it actually. It's either gonna be a Heart or Scotty this game. The stats are really nice. Excuse me, I just burped. And I'm not actually sure if I noticed an illusion rune, but an illusion rune is actually game winning on PL. Yeah, I think I might even just ping the CM to say thanks. Just let him know that we need that. My binds are off. I meant to say get back instead of thanks. Just killing some golems. You know, I was saying not to farm your jungle, but you know we have illusions on the map, and the lanes are pretty much pushed in. So just pushing our farm in, or we're getting our farm, and we're getting our item. Close. We got it. I think our illusion killed the creep. Do we buy it here? Yeah. It's a little slow on buying it. And we're microing our illusions as best as we can. We don't just pick up the illusion rune and do nothing with it, guys. We pick it up and we micro it. See? We're not going to let it die to nukes. We're going to let it stay alive and be as annoying as possible, you know. Gotta be playing it like it's an RTS game. If you're playing an RTS game and you have like a harassing unit, you don't just send it in the enemy base and get like 2 workers. You go for like 1 worker and you keep it alive and just let it be a nuisance. It'll do more damage overall. You gotta kind of think like that when you're playing these type of illusion heroes. And you want to be thinking like that when you get the illusion runes for sure. This guy's saying get back, but I don't know. Feeling pretty confident here. Yeah, Heart next. Just gonna beef up. If I beef up, there's no way they're not even gonna be able to kill my illusions. They're not gonna be able to kill me, and they're definitely not gonna be able to kill my illusions. Even in these fights, I'm casting spells with int treads. No reason not to. Then switching to agility when I'm actually fighting, attacking. Did I diffuse him? I don't even know if I'm using my diffusal blade, but it doesn't really matter. Oh, poor sniper. Dude just looks so small. And we're just getting these racks. And I think I'm just gonna skip to the end now, guys, because this game is probably, I mean, it's definitely over. There's just no way that they're gonna be winning. There's really nothing more to say about this game. This game ends pretty soon. I think I go for Aegis just to be safe. And during that time, the game just ends the creeps. So I'm gonna be skipping ahead. Okay, so yeah, so we skipped ahead a little bit, and as I said, you know, we're taking Roche. And as you can see from the minimap, we just have megas in their base, and they're kind of just sitting in the well. So it's going to be ending soon. But thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to be doing more Dota content. I might also be doing other game content as well, but definitely going to be continuing this series. And as I've already mentioned, go ahead and join the Discord, guys, if you want to. I'll try and be as engaging as possible. You know, if you want to talk to me, you know, I'll be around. So I will see you guys later. Peace.